May I have your attention, please? It's time for the final countdown. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Well, good morning. Welcome here, and we are going to rock this morning. That was a little countdown to get it going, and some of my co-presenters had no idea what I was going to play that countdown like that. So, what are we here for this morning? We want to share with you some great ideas, and the great ideas we want to share with you is how to build, how your people can become superstar CSRs, and CSRs stand for Customer Service Representative. And the first thing I want to share with you is getting these two ladies to fit this into their schedule was a monumental task to be able to get them both onto this today because they are both so busy. So they've taken time out of their day today to join us. So with me today to help share these processes is Brandi Biswell, who's one of our coaches and also is a partner and operates Flues Brothers Chimney Service in Kansas City, and Sheryl Eisenhower, who owns and operates IBD Outdoor Rooms, but also serves as a coach within our business and has certain skills. And I'm going to tell you before we get going, you're getting ready to hear from two of the leading experts, in my opinion, in the blue collar industry and how to make superstar CSRs, because here's what they do. They work with superstars. They work with many of the people in this industry, and we know what superstars are, and we know how to make superstars, and we got to get everybody on that wavelength. So Brandi, as we start this morning, what's the first thought in your mind when we talk about superstar CSRs?
Well, Jerry, I think it's a lot like leadership. You know, leaders, we say, are not born, they're made. And to be a true great leader, you have to do a lot of self-study, read books, and just go to classes and learn. And it's no different with the CSR. There's not a CSR born as a superstar. We have to teach them those skills.
Okay, so that's a really good one there, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. So Sheryl, what's your thoughts on this about superstar CSRs?
Well, you have, as Brandi said, you pretty much covered it. They have to be trained. They have to understand what they're getting to see, because without it, they're just another person sitting at a desk on the end of the phone. So the training is essential. And no, they're not born. And there's a lot of training that goes into the superstar.
Okay, so Brandi, as I talk to you and you look at some of our client base and I talk about superstars, is there certain people that just come right into your mind that truly are superstars out there in the blue collar world?
There absolutely are. With the clients that we work with, there are definitely names that are coming to my mind right now.
So what makes them that superstar? And let's talk with I don't want to say her name, but, we have both complimented this lady. What makes her this CSR superstar? Because she can train people, they follow in her path, and she's just phenomenal. What makes her so special, Brandi?
I think that she continues to learn. She will do what's asked of her and go way above and beyond that. She doesn't get into the drama. What I think I find most happens is people get stagnant. So they come in and they're all energized and ready to go and, learning everything they can. And then they just get stagnant and they're just going through the motions. They're just getting their coffee in the morning and dragging themselves into work and just doing the bare minimum to get by. And she's always going way above and beyond that. And she can anticipate what her upper superiors need before they even know what they need.
Yeah, let's give an example. Sheryl, one of our rock stars, superstars, actually traveled to Concord to spend a day with you in your office. Why did she do this?
She wanted to understand more. She wanted to learn more. She wanted to see the actions of what was going on. A lot of times, training over over like this is good. But sometimes a one-on-one touch when they can ask really direct questions And we spent the whole day together and went over things point by point. And she moved farther, faster than anyone we've had, and I don't know when.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we need to let people know, that part of the service that we provide through CVC Success Group with our clients is, Brandi, they can come visit with you. You've had people come there to visit with you for a day, correct?
They can come to me, I'll go to them, either one.
Right. So those are the type things that go on. But again, as you look at this, Brandi, let me ask you this. Why do they fail? Why do CSRs often fail in the position?
A lot of times, you kind of want to blame it on the person, but unfortunately we can't. We have to blame it on the leadership. And we know as leaders that if somebody's failing, it's typically falls on us. And so it's that we haven't given them the motivation or the tools that they need to be successful. I can tell when I walk into an office, Jerry, I can tell within the first 30 minutes who the superstars are and who are not.
Okay, what would spot that out to you, Brandi? What would be the things that would say this person's a superstar, this one in that 30-minute? Because like I said, we both visit offices and we analyze and we prepare strategies. So what are the things that you would walk in and say, there's the superstar, that one probably needs to go, that one you haven't trained properly, those type of things? What are those indicators to you?
The superstar's engaged. He or she is coming up and chatting with me. The phone's ringing. They're the first to grab it. You can tell by looking at their desk. It's usually typically neat with probably some books on it, probably your book, Jerry. And so they're involved. Whereas the one that's not the superstar is usually, sitting at their desk, opening up their email, hopefully on the work email, and just kind of, again, like I said, stagnating and going through the motions.
Right. So one of the things that you do, Sheryl, is you are a certified DISC assessor, which means you look at people's behavior patterns from their behavior testing through DISC. So what is it that will notify you in the hiring process or in working with the company that we've got a superstar or we've got somebody that's probably not going to measure up?
You can pick out the energy fields. You can see who goes out of their way to do things. On the other hand, you can pick out the procrastinator. You can pick out the person that is not going to communicate well. Their communication skills are shown real well in this. Their learning skills, that's the number one thing to me. People that get where they're going relatively fast are going to have very high learning behaviors. If you're not willing to learn, you're not willing to move up. And if you're going to, people that move up tend to get more energetic. Like Brandi was saying, they're the ones that are there. They're the ones that are moving. They're the ones that love their jobs. And you can see that in the behavior of how they're going to react and how they're going to communicate.
Right. And Brandi, one of the things that I'm going to ask you right now, we're conducting a 4-part training for basic chimney sweep technician training, but we have a pile of office people in this. They're never going to sweep a chimney. They've never swept a chimney, but how important is it for a CSR to understand the vocabulary and what the company does?
They have to be able to understand it. It's just like if I was answering phones in a real estate agent or an attorney's office, I have to know the verbiage that's being used and I have to be able to help the person on the phone. And that's what they get out of this training. They learn the verbiage, they learn so they can help. Our technicians are busy. They're out in the field. They're on to new customers. So when that customer from yesterday calls and has an additional question, that superstar CSR can answer that question. She doesn't have to bother the technician in the field.
So one of the true advantages here, if we have very technically astute CSRs, our technicians in the field don't have to be bothered by the CSR answering the simple questions such as, hey, this customer said, this customer called and they said their cricket, something wrong with their cricket. Can you call them and answer that question? Is that what superstar CSRs can do is answer those questions?
Absolutely. There should be very few times where they ever have to bother the technician. Jerry, I was doing onboarding with a company yesterday with their 2 new CSRs, and I was explaining to them, you're learning a whole trade here. This isn't like you're just answering the phone at a big office building and having people sign in on a pad of paper. You're learning an entire trade and skills that you can take with you anywhere.
Right. And they've got to be heavy ability to multitask. Do you agree?
Absolutely, especially come October, November, December.
That's it. That's when the rubber meets the roads. So Sheryl, when you're hiring people, a lot of times what you're looking for after you find the perfect candidate is, we suggest that, and part of our process is, like Brandi just said, onboarding. And that's something that Brandi is very, very dedicated to, is the onboarding process. So do you see that that is a failure, that many CSRs are never properly onboarded? They're just threw into the fire, and it's a test of fire.
Many companies do that. We did, years ago, that's what you did. You went into an office, you sat down and you started to work. But there was not as many idiosyncrasies as there are now. And most people that go, especially into this niche, the CSR needs to know, basically, in my opinion, as much as the technician, short of actually working with the hand tools. But if you don't onboard them correctly and just throw them in, you've got just another telephone answer.
Right. Brandi, how important is effective communication for someone in the office? Because this is the first, the middle, and the last contact usually with the company. So how good of a communicator is this person got to be?
Well, to your point, like I was telling these CSRs yesterday, I told them, guess what? You're the most important person in the company. You're more important than anybody else here because you're the one that's answering that phone and you're the one that has that first contact with that customer. You have to get them to trust you. You have to be able to communicate what service are we providing. So we're not just telling the customer, sure, we can come out and clean it and it's $300. We're going through what we're providing for them for that $300. So it's critical.
Right. Sheryl, how important is it that a CSR must have the ability to shut up and listen?
Very important. And you do. You need to listen before you can respond. Brandi and I, or I think are both, I know I am, we're asked to listen in on the phone calls and see how these CSRs are doing and see if they're listening to the customer, see if they're responding correctly. And without that, once you lose that customer in the first initial call, the tech can never regain that perfect customer back out of them.
Okay. So Brandi, part of the service that you provide when someone has you on staff, because what we do is, a lot of times you're coming in also as a coach or maybe as an independent coach from myself, and you're working with the office staff, you're working with the CSRs, the software, all that side of the business. But part of your service is you actually listen to the phone calls that these people have made with customers. What are you picking up that CSRs where they're really making critical errors in these phone calls that are costing the company money?
I mean, the first critical error that I always pick up on is, good morning, thank you for calling, blah, blah, chimney sweep. And that's exactly what they sound like. So I can't even hear their smile on the phone. We teach them that they have to go up several octaves when they're on that phone. It feels unnatural at first, but then it becomes very natural after you do it for a while. And then again, they're not following the script. So most people in the chimney and fireplace industry, we have scripts. And we have them for a reason because there's a lot of information we want to convey. And they're just going rogue and going completely off the map. They're telling the customer, yeah, we'll get back with you, but they're not giving them a time. We'll get back with you by the end of today. So-and-so's out of the office, but I will touch base with you in the morning. I could go on and on, Jerry.
I know you could, and you will if I let you. So, but I understand that. But let's lay it on. What we've tried to do at CVC Success Group is we have tried to put together a learning path and training for these people. And I think we probably have the leading training for CSRs, just like we do technicians and we do for sales. But we have really delved deep. I mean, when we look at it, we provide people a curriculum to follow step by step for their CSRs, such as I think they're, Chimneys 101. We go through telephone skills, how to be a superstar CSR, company software training. All these things are part of it, and it just keeps going on. So one of the things, if you're listening to this, if you'd like to have a copy of our curriculum, just request it from the email address going across the bottom of the screen right now. We'll be glad to send that out to you. Sheryl, what do you pick up from the phone calls when you listen to recordings?
Like Brandi, it's the monotone voice when there's no energy. I mean, again, you are the first person. Get out there, grab them, bring them in. But that's what you hear, or lack of knowledge when you're stuttering along and the words aren't coming out. And you sound like first day on the job. You've been there for 10 years, but you still sound like the first day on the job.
Yeah, let's give it a comparison. Brandi, you're an excellent public speaker in a room full of people, and you know how to work a room, and you know how to excite people. And that's what you've got to do as a CSR. You've got to be able to work that telephone, be able to listen, and come with excitement. We want to do business with you. That's going to come a lot. It's just like you said, who wants to go to a seminar and sit and watch someone stand behind a podium and simply read the notes that are up on the screen wow, how does that make you feel when you're in a seminar and it's a boring presenter?
Oh, I'm asleep. If it's boring, I'm already asleep. I've got my head on the desk asleep because I just can't, my brain won't stay in with it. I think it's about engagement. You have to engage the customer on the phone. When I'm speaking to an audience, I'm trying to engage them in whatever we're discussing. And so, for example, a lot of people are working from home, so their dogs are barking in the background. It could actually happen here. So then the CSR says to the customer, "Oh, I hear you have a dog. What type of dog do you have?" And then they may tell them about their dog, but they're putting in the notes, customer has a golden retriever named Rufus. So what have they done there? They've made a connection with the customer. They've also communicated to the technician how they're going to make a connection with the customer.
Gotcha. So Sheryl, right now beside you, there's probably two little poodles laying right beside your desk right now, isn't there?
At least for the second. We will decide that as when they get ready to bark. If Brandi's goes rogue, mine goes right behind them. But yeah, they're energetic. If they can do this, why can't we? A lot of times I tell people, if you just had what Abby had, you would be a superstar, because she's got two speeds, really high and off.
Right. And right now, you recently put Ring doorbells on our house, and we work and our offices are here at the house. So this is kind of what's got to happen when the phone rings. Let's tell them what happens if the Ring doorbell gives that tone through your phone. What is Abby like right at that instantly? Pop. What's happening?
She'll levitate about a foot, and she's about 3 foot in front before she ever hits the ground again. She goes after it. She's not going to hurt. She just goes and stands at the door and invites them in. And that's what you do when that phone rings. You pick them up and you invite them into your business. Let them see your business.
Yeah. Not only that, if we're not careful, she's going to run right down the walkway to the car. And the other day, she tried to jump right in somebody's car. And that's kind of a comparison here of what a CSR's got to do. And I so often see this, and I think you're losing business because this is happening. You're paying a lot of money for your telephone to ring. You need to understand this. I mean, we did a presentation yesterday, and I did an interview with Tommy Mello, and he was talking about the amount of money it takes for acquisition, $80, $90, $100 to acquire a customer. Do you want to continue to spend that kind of money to entice people to buy you, to acquire customers, that you simply have someone that when they call says, "I don't want to do business with that company"? Brandi, you're that kind of person. In fact, you said that you had done business with Tommy Mello's company in Kansas City when you needed garage doors worked on. What was it that drove you to do business with A1 Garage Doors?
Well, we had used another franchise popular garage company that I won't say here in Kansas City and had a very negative experience. And so I got online and was searching for others, and I noticed this A1 Garage had good reviews. So I called them up. I was really wanting it fixed the same day because that's the primary way that we enter and exit our house. And the dispatcher assured me that somebody would be out there today. I call him a kiddo because I think I'm just old now, and he was probably like in his young 20s. So the kiddo came out. Not only did he fix the garage, but he brought me out into the garage, and he was educating me on the lifetime of the garage doors, some components that I don't even remember the name of. And he actually ended up upselling me a ton that day. And I was happy to do it because I knew that he was doing a great job. I knew that he knew what he was talking about and that he was going to stand behind it.
That's it. And you're a hard customer to satisfy. I mean, let's get real. If somebody's going to do work, and here's another one right at the bottom of the screen, Mrs. Eisenhower, very demanding customer. Mr. Eisenhower, very demanding customer. So Sheryl, how important is that CSR contact when you contact someone to come out here and do work at our home?
They're the most important person there. She's got to get he must get my attention. I don't have a whole lot of time. I don't take a lot of time on the phone. I do so much on the phone. I don't want to talk to a phone long. I want the conversation very short, very informative. I need my time frame matched. And yes, maybe I am what you would call a demanding customer, but I'm also one that I'm very appreciative when the job's done and done correctly.
That's the key thing. So where's this rolling to? We're rolling right now to an invitation to you. If you're listening to us, I want you to get your calendar out right now and write down and mark on your calendar the date of Monday, April the 5th. Monday, April the 5th. Because if you want to build and become a superstar CSR, Monday, April 5th is the day we're going to help you do this. Because on Monday, April the 5th, we're going to start at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. 10 a.m. And the reason we picked 10 a.m. is that allows people all the way to the West Coast. Yes, it'll be 7 on the West Coast, but that allows people in all 4 time zones to join us this day. Also, if you're in the Eastern time zone or you're in the Central time zone, it's going to give you an hour or 2 hours to get your day started and take care of the things you need to do. Because when you join what we're getting ready to tell you about, you need to be 100% involved. Because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be conducting our class, How to Be a Superstar CSR. This is a 6-hour class. And this class is going to be, it's going to be Brandi, it's going to be Sheryl, it's going to be myself. But I will be honest with you, those are going to be the 2 people that you're going to be able to ask questions of. This is one of our live streaming educational events. And in a live streaming educational event, we are interacting with you as the audience. We want you to be using the chat bar. We're going to ask you to have a cam on, and we're going to ask you to have microphones because we're going to bring you into the class. Now, it's going to step even further than that. We are broadcasting this today from the CVC virtual recording studio. We have the only, and I repeat, only teaching studio in the industry that is set up that we can interact and we can see, believe it or not, hundreds of people on cam through the widescreen televisions and everything else that we have. But there's another feature to this class. If you're near us in Concord, North Carolina, which is right outside Charlotte, we can actually take you in the classroom here with us, and you can participate in a live setting with us at the same time. You will be able to see myself and Sheryl will be live in the room. Sheryl will be producing the seminar also, and then you'll be able to participate from that end. But if you're not near Concord, you really need to understand that we can teach you so effectively today using live stream technology. Now, in addition to that, if you're a subscriber to the CVC platform, then you have access to the course, the recording, and the quizzes that will go through this, because we're going to require everybody that gets a completion certificate to take a quiz at the end. Okay, and you're going to have to submit that back to us. Not only that, we're going to be giving out code words during it to make sure, because we want you to have a completion certificate at the end. But to do that, you're going to have to pass our quizzes. You're going to have to give us our code words. And if you're not a subscriber, we are going to put you on the platform. Everyone who registers will be seated on our platform and have access to this course for the follow-up training, and also to have the recordings. And more than that, we also now provide a transcript. That's right. A written transcript of our courses we teach live is pulled, and that is also inserted. Brandi, let me ask you a question. And I told these in my class the other day. How many words do you think I spoke in a 4-hour seminar on Tuesday?
Oh gosh, 2.5 million?
No, wasn't that bad. If I had, I'd have to be talking about that. No, it was 44,000 words. But it has also been hung up on the platform to everyone that has access. That now has it in a written format. They have it where they can pull up the recordings and review what they just went through. They've got quizzes. They've got all this. So it's much more, it's not a webinar. A webinar is where you sit there and somebody really boring is sitting on the other side, and you can't ask questions. We ask you to have a cam. We want to see you, because when you come on, when Sheryl and I are standing here, we're looking at a bank of televisions right in front of us. Brandi can hook up the same there if she wants to, but we can see right now each one of our widescreen TVs has 49 participants on that screen. So we're looking at you. Brandi, how important is it for you as an instructor to see people when you're speaking to them?
I despise doing anything when I can't interact with the audience. That's why I prefer to teach live, because I want to be able to engage, and I get more energy. I get their energy. So it's very important. And I would add to that, if you're watching this and you're planning on coming, or you're planning on sending your people, start right now. If you're one of my clients, you already have a notebook. Start right now writing down your trials, tribulations, questions as you go throughout your day, and bring them to this class. You'll get so much more out of it. And that's what we're here for. We want to answer your tough questions. There's no question too tough for us to answer. So write them down and bring them. Yeah.
Jason's asking a question. Is this a webinar? This is a live stream instructor-led training. That's what we do here at CV Success Group. This is instructor-led. You're going to be able to ask the questions. And one of the neat things about this is you may get 3 points of view. In other words, I want you to understand that Brandi, Jerry, and Sheryl may not agree. And that's going to give you 3 distinct points of view. Now, here's the cost factor. If you are not a subscriber to our platform, the cost to attend this is $129. If you have more than one person, you're going to get a 15% discount on additional attendees from your company. If you are a subscriber, you attend for a cost of $99, and you also get a 15% discount on this. Now, here's the big kicker. We're giving you a guarantee of value. If you attend one of our live streaming classes and you do not feel that you took the value out of this class, all you have to do is notify me, and we will refund your fee. We will refund your fee of joining that class. Brandi, is that a pretty good deal for people?
I think that's a darn good deal.
Yeah. So you know, that's our guarantee of value that we do with all of our training, just like our online platform. You can join our online platform, Try it for 2 weeks. And if it doesn't work for you, then you can, unsubscribe, and we will refund your first month subscription fee. So I'm going to be posting the link in the comments, and you're going to see this coming out more and more as we go through this. And we highly, highly encourage you, if you want to turn your CSRs into superstars, you need to have them in this class. Not doing other things. It will be a 6-hour class. We will start at 10 a.m. We will take a lunch break. We do take breaks through the class. You want to be well hydrated coming in. Brandi, share with them the secret of getting the most value of that.
The most value out of the class?
Yeah. How does a participant get the most out of a class with us?
Well, as I said, you first need to come prepared with questions, come with your trials and tribulations. And then secondly, make sure that you have something to take notes on. And again, there's going to be a quiz at the end. You want to be writing down those keywords. But really and truly, the way you're going to get the most value is by interacting. So Jason, to answer your question about the webinar, I would think of it like as if you're taking a college course. And a lot of college courses are online now. They're being taught from the professor's home. That's how you can think of this, but you're going to be able to interact with us. And the technology that Jerry's using, I'm sorry, Jerry, you know it's never a short answer with me. The technology that Jerry's using, the StreamYard, he introduced me to, and he was the first one, I believe, to introduce it to the entire industry. And I have so many more things I want to say, but I'll save them for the class.
That's it. So Sheryl, what would you tell people about the value of this class and what they're going to leave with at 4:30 that afternoon?
The value is unreal if you're working in the direction of a CSR or training one, because what you can learn is knowledge, and knowledge will take you places. So don't miss this thing and then wish you had come, because yeah, you can see the recording, but nothing's like being there and hearing the answers. And also our participants will be able to add their answers if they need to. We bring them on live at times.
Correct. So that's why we want you to be able to get the best value. Here's what you're going to do. You want to get, if you got more than one person in the office, hook it up to a widescreen television. We need a cam. We want to see you. We want to have eye contact with you. This is critical. We're going to be interacting with you. We're going to be calling out questions. You're going to participate. You need a way of entering information into the chat bar, asking questions through the chat. Now, we may bring you on cam. We may ask you to turn your mic on and actually involve you in the class. I want you to understand, this is just like being in a classroom. If you've never participated in a CVC live stream, I can tell you that it is just like we are in the room with you. You can attend on any digital device, but I'm going to be honest with you. Even though you could connect by phone, you need a bigger screen. I'll be honest with you. You really need that, and you need a good set of speakers. You want to be able to control the volume. You need a mic so you can talk to us, okay? So, and like I said, we love Brandi and Sheryl. That's great. You see that? Hey, you notice I didn't get mentioned in that, okay? Jillian loves Brandi and Sheryl. I didn't say she did not add Jerry, so I don't know how.
Thank you, Jillian.
So, how to register? There's going to be a link to a Infusionsoft registration form. All you're going to do is fill out your name and your return information. Once we get that, we will send you a registration form. And the registration form, you'll put the number of people on there and a credit card authorization form, and we'll charge your card for your attendance. Again, this is a money back guarantee. If you don't see value, all you have to do at the end is notify us, and we will refund your cost, your fee to attend, okay? Interactive, like we can be in part of the class, just like face-to-face. You're exactly right, Jillian. Right there from Anderson's Chimney, you have a training room. So you could actually, and you have cams there, so you could put your whole office staff right there, and it's just like I'm standing in the front of that room when I'm teaching live at Anderson's. Now, what's the advantage here? Let's get real. Brandi, how do you feel about traveling today?
I've only had my first COVID shot, so I am not traveling.
How do you feel about going into a room with people in a class right now? I'm very serious when I say this.
No, yeah, seriously, I'm just not comfortable yet. I also don't want to wear a mask the whole time. I would rather do this where you can see my facial expressions, you can hear me clearly.
Yeah. So that's a neat thing about this. There's, you don't have to worry about travel. I do a lot of travel on airplanes right now. American Airlines are requiring certain things when you get on because of the COVID. With this, with interactive instructor-led training, such as we do here, there is that, it's just the time savings. The only travel is to your digital device. That's it. Just like this morning, we are broadcasting to you from 3 different offices. Sheryl is in her office. Brandi is in her office in Kansas City. We're in North Carolina, but we're able to get together and do a broadcast like this out to you. So be sure and get with us. You're seeing our email address going across the screen. Just keep looking on Facebook. We're going to be posting the link to register, and all you got to do is fill out that link and hit submit, and we're going to get you signed up. So we're looking forward to seeing you very much. Again, what's that date? April the 5th. What's the time? We're going to start at 10 a.m. And there's one more thing I forgot to mention. If you are certified, this is a CEU approved class. That means you're going to get CEUs for attending this. And we are also here at CVC Success Group, we are an approved provider of education by the National Chimney Sweep Guild. So we've got it going on. Check out what we do. So Brandi, anything you want to say before we end this?
I would just say, don't wait. Go ahead and get signed up and make that commitment today. And then you've got a couple weeks to plan. So you've got a couple weeks to figure out who's going to answer the phones while your CSRs are in this class. But it's so important that you take them off the phone and dedicate their time to this, because you're going to see that in payback, in revenue, and their performance tenfold.
Great. Sheryl, what would you say before we end this?
All I've got to say is I'd love to see everybody here, literally see. And again, come join us, because I don't think you're going to walk away from this at all with no knowledge. I think you're going to come out with more than you can absorb in one day.
That's it. And I'll tell you from our standpoint, I will tell you right now that in this class, I will guarantee you that Brandi Biswell will find out new tools in this class. I will guarantee you that I will learn new tools in this class, and I will guarantee you that Sheryl Eisenhower will learn new tools, because what we do when we teach a class, we learn from every participant that participates in that class. So again, our goal is to help you build rock star, superstar CSRs. And here's how you do it. So any questions, let us know. And with that, we want to sincerely thank you for your time and your attention today. And we're looking forward. It has been an honor. It's been a pleasure. And it's been a privilege to be able to speak to you this morning. Reach out to us here at CVC if we can answer any questions for you. Talk to you later. Y'all be good.